Tim Schuster's life seemed to be falling apart. He was in the midst of a painful divorce and had just been laid off from his nursing job at a nearby hospital. But his friends started to become really worried when he missed an appointment and wasn't answering his phone. Was he in danger? Here again is Keith Morrison.
Something was amiss in Clovis, California. Bad enough that nurse Tim Schuster was laid off on top of all his other troubles. But now this impeccably reliable man had skipped a crucial meeting with the hospital's human resources officer.
He didn't just blow things off like that. So, and this was important.
If he said he was going to be there,
he was
there.
So Bob and Mary Solis called another of Tim's friends, Victor Uribe. Could Victor check Tim's house? Make sure he's okay?
I walked through all the house, and then when I went into his bedroom, I saw his cell phone and his watch. The phone told me something's really wrong because he never went anywhere without that phone.
Victor went to the garage, opened Tim's pickup truck.
And I went through the glove box and his console. His wallet was there. There was money in it. Credit cards were there. I mean, it was really strange.
So it was. Mary and Bob Solis called the police, told them Tim wouldn't go missing without a bad reason, told them about Tim's handgun. But when Detective Vince Weibert heard about Tim's recent troubles...
I mean, that right there is a big red flag for us to look at and say, something happened here. Not
that Tim had gone postal on anyone, except perhaps himself.
He possibly committed suicide. You know, you look at a man who's going through a divorce, who's having child custody issues, who may be having financial issues, and now he's laid off from his job, and he goes missing that day.
Tim Schuster's disappearance sent tremors through quiet, prosperous Clovis. This just isn't the sort of place where educated, middle-class people simply vanish without a trace.
We've kind of got that small-town, kind of old-school thing going on there. Now, one of the things which Clovis has always prided itself on is, and part of its unique identity, has been a very low crime rate.
So suicide seemed the most plausible answer. But Tim's friends didn't buy it, and they certainly didn't believe that the loss of his marriage or his job would have been the reason. He wasn't broken up about it.
Nope.
No, he saw it as an opportunity.
Yes.
Number one, to be with his son, to get some clarity of what's going on in his life.
Yeah.
He had such a great concern for his kids, not so much for himself, but for his kids.
Yeah.
He would not have left them without a father.
Although the police put two and two together and figured the timing of all this was probably pretty important.
We didn't rule out possibility of him just saying, you know what, I've been laid off from my job, I'm in the middle of a bad divorce, and I'm having problems. I'm going to go disappear for a while. Take off with a friend, go to the mountains, go to Vegas, do something like that.
In which case, it couldn't be that hard to find him, could it?
We talked to any family member that we could find. We went through Tim's notebooks, we went through his phone records. We even looked into having the helicopter fly overhead in the field to the north of their home to FLIR it, to see if there were any heat sources out there.
What'd they find?
Nothing. Nothing out there.
They even went as far as asking Larissa for information, even though because of the divorce the two hadn't seen each other for months. Still, they asked, would she come in for a chat? Of course, she agreed, and they recorded the conversation.
Is Timothy capable of, if he wanted to go away, start a new life somewhere, first of all, and this is your opinion, you think he would do that, and my having a son myself, I wouldn't leave my son. Is he capable of just packing up, cashing out a bunch of money and going somewhere else thinking I need maybe when you to snap and do that? Is he capable of doing that?
I don't know that I don't know.
You think he would leave your son and not see him?
My gut tells me that no, that he probably wouldn't do that.
So, was it foul play? Had somebody caused Tim to disappear? Of course, in situations like this, police generally like to eliminate the possibility that a spouse, current or ex, might have had something to do with the disappearance. They have to ask, so they did.
Larissa, let me ask you this. Are you the type of person that could have anything to do with him missing?
No, not at all. No, I can't. I mean, we've had our problems and I dislike him and, you know, and we haven't been able to get along, but I couldn't do that to my son.
And then Larissa, not terribly useful so far, went home. And 48 hours into the search for Tim, police still had no solid leads. But then, well, it's funny, the little things that make a big difference. One of the investigators was going through Tim's papers and stumbled on a familiar name.
Detective Kirkhart had received Fagoni's name by going through by Tim's ledger.
James Fagoni. The name was familiar because this was the very young man suspected of breaking into Tim's new house and stealing back some of the items Tim had taken from his marriage. Fagoni, police knew, was a sort of errand boy for Larissa. What was his name doing in Tim's personal ledger?
So Detective Kirkhart and Detective Daly actually sat down on Monday and interviewed James.
This person might actually be involved in whatever happened.
We thought that he may have some inside information.
Inside information? Theft the year before? Who was this Fagoni person? And what did he know? Could he find Tim Schuster?
Coming up.
Good God! What a story!
He is telling me most of the aspects of this and in fairly good detail.
Laying out the whole crime.
Laying out the whole crime.
When Bad Chemistry continues.